welcome in the world. We're still in the Christmas season, and as we're looking to going into the new year 2019, we're very, very excited about the season and the joy, peace, and happiness that comes along with the season. I am Jumoke Alaude James, and I'm very excited to be here once again with Dr. Harry Benjamin. How are you today, Doc?
Man, I'm doing amazing and grateful.
Cool.
Joyful, peaceful.
Fantastic. So how was your Christmas season?
Man, it's been excellent. It's been wonderful, man. It's been
Fantastic. I thank God for the opportunity to forgive people every single day. And we're going to be talking about forgiving yourself for your failed objectives and goals for the year, and how a lot of people feel disappointed, towards the end of the year. Like, I had all these plans for the year. I had these goals. Oh, I wanted to get married this year and it didn't happen. Oh, I've been praying to God for a baby for 20 years and I just felt that this was my year. Oh, I wanted to change jobs. So I started a new business. I had this financial goal for the year. And people just go into some form of depression or the other. Or maybe it was I lost my job, or business didn't do well enough, so I couldn't buy my children the gifts that I'd promised them for Christmas. Or this is how we usually do Christmas, this big in my house, but the finances weren't so available this Christmas, so it was just a quiet Christmas. So people just get disappointed in the season. And so we're going to talk about forgiving yourself for your supposed failures, because nothing really is a failure except you name it so, and how to overcome the depression that some people find themselves in a season that's supposed to ordinarily be happy and joyful and full of gratitude, for a life well spent in the entire year, but rather you find yourself, bemoaning your lot in the year.
Well, thank you very much. And, as we look at this season, apart from the Christmas, which is, we're looking at the word mass celebration of the Christ. That's really what some aspects of the world do. But there's also Hanukkah, there's also Kwanzaa, for some people around the world. And some people are not celebrating the end of the year because for them it's not until maybe February.
Okay.
But for a good portion of the world, yes, we should be in a state of feeling a little happier, and most people generally do. But there's also a larger number of people that go into depression at this time of the year than other times of the year.
Okay.
Because of not meeting what they thought were their expectations. All right, and you spoke about a number of different ones, but it all comes down to really, one area. What people do and what I used to do is that my sense of being okay in terms of my joy and my peace was associated with the outcome. Now, once you connect your peace and your joy to the outcome, if you don't get the outcome, you don't feel happy, you don't feel at peace. So as a result, individuals end up sometimes missing these targets because of the expectations that they have set for themselves. And if you had set a low expectation and you go past it, you feel really good.
Very true.
Yeah? But then if you fall below the expectation that you have set, then people feel bad.
Yeah.
Because we have learned to associate our peace and our joy with events happening. For example, Christmas, or this time of the year, Xmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. This time of the year is associated with celebration. We put celebration around birthdays, anniversaries, christenings, and certain parties that may be planned. So people suspend in between their sense of being okay and being at peace and having their joy, waiting for something to happen or waiting for something to be acquired. So it's an error, actually, because what you do when you actually tie your peace and your joy to the outcome, you suspend it and you put it out onto something out there that you need to go and get to then be okay. When the truth is that we're already okay, but we're not aware of that okayness. And the self-forgiveness piece that you brought up is a very important part of getting to that place of being okay, because when you hold yourself, in a feeling of, man, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, and you start to feel bad, you start to beat yourself up, we really need to forgive ourselves, because the way to succeed is to make mistakes. You know, making incremental steps towards accomplishing keen, excellent success, right? That's mistakes. So if we look at mistakes as incremental, progress, incremental success, then we're not afraid of them. You know, this year you didn't hit your goal, so what? You know, then there's next year, then there's years after that. You know, where we are concerned, there's another lifetime. There's several lifetimes, to accomplish our goals. You know, because life is eternal. Life is not, when you were born on the earth and when you leave, that's just appearance. The day you appeared, your mother had a birth, that's, your mother's birthday. But the day you appeared on the earth is your day that you appeared. And you appeared and you stayed for a period of time. And then, you disappeared, in terms of this realm. So understanding that, then we can live life going for it, having a great time. If you notice very young children, ages 4, 5, 6, whether they get gifts or they don't get gifts, Christmas is happy.
Very true.
it's when you learn now that
there's enough rice and chicken to go around.
And even if there's not a lot, man, they find something to do. They're having fun. They're outside having a great time. So it's us, tying our joy and our peace to something outside when you can't get it from something. You can't get it from accomplishment. You experience it. This is a funny thing about getting something like a gift, right? When you get something like a gift, it suspends the thought process of worried about tomorrow, memory. It's just, this is so beautiful. It's a beautiful bunch of roses. This is such a beautiful gift. And you're caught up in, unwrapping it and the excitement and the release of all those chemicals. And people feel really good.
Yeah.
And they think that the good feeling is because of the gift, not realizing that it's them suspending worry, suspending doubt, suspending fear, not being disappointed about not accomplishing a goal. Not because you didn't have the biggest piece of chicken on your table. It doesn't mean that, that's not a reason to rob yourself of your joy. But then you could tell yourself a story, the reason I'm not happy is because we didn't earn enough money, and if I had earned enough money, then I'll be okay, and da. And then that story is what we use to dampen and depress the natural state of joy and peace that we would have had during the season for those who will let it go. And I used to be there. So I'm not speaking from a standpoint of, this is, I used to be there. I used to be someone who, my peace and my joy was connected to outcomes. And I would go into states of during the week, I'd be working hard, and on the weekend, if things didn't go right, I'd go and drink a bunch of alcohol. I'd drink like several beers on a Friday night. And it's been close to 10 years. I have not had a sip of alcohol, not even wine, because of coming into the awareness of this and then practicing meditation, affirmative prayer, and, spiritual study that has allowed me to come in touch with the inner state of peace and joy. And there are many people in the world who actually have accomplished this. But we need more. We need a lot more people to realize that peace and joy, they're free gifts of the Spirit. They're inherently here. We don't need to go anywhere to get them. They're already there. So, that from the standpoint of, it's not how do you get out of depression this Christmas? It's not to go shopping. That's not the solution. If you were to take anything away from the conversation, it's to go through the process that you have gone through. Maybe you could share a little bit about maybe a couple of look back, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. How did you relate to this time compared to what's going on right now?
I'll talk about a couple of weeks ago. I hosted a few girlfriends, about 10 of them, in my garden. And end of the year, it was just about them letting down their hair, mommies without their children, just girls' time out, food, and lots of noise. And eventually, after eating, we sat down and so Jumoke, what's happening to you? So when is it happening? When is all the good things you've been praying for you? When are they happening? And I'm like, you would not believe it, that I'm in the best state of my mind right now. Why? Because I lost a dear friend this year. She died. She was married, no children. Some people, the Yorubas, will say, when you die without a child, you've died without a legacy. But for some of us, we're happy. She hasn't left a child that is an orphan. Why? Because life is how you personally define it. So we get disappointed based on societal expectations of us. But when you decide that every single one of us are never going to get out of life alive, be you married or single, with lots of children, with only one child, barren, or whatever the societal expectations of us, and lack of it therefore for you in particular, at the end of life, all of those things will not matter. So how well have you lived your life while you are here, rather than suspending your joy because you're not married now, or suspending your joy because you do not have children now? And when I started saying that to them, they all opened up. The one that is married with 2 children, that is going through a divorce, the one that the sister is committing, her sister's husband is committing adultery with a colleague at work, the one that has been trying to have a child, failed IVFs, and all sorts of stories. And we realized that regardless what each of us had in the year as achievements, we also had our down times, and regardless of what it was, everybody's got it. Life is ups and downs, and it is what you call it. So in the down moments, if you still say that it is life, and God has the reason for it happening to me, and it isn't a bad thing that is happening, it's just life, because that's what life is. We go through these experiences in our physical bodies. It doesn't matter in the afterlife. It doesn't affect your spiritual being. So you do not allow those circumstances dictate your emotions, nor affect your peace and joy. And so regardless of what happens, you had one chicken in your table, you had none, you had to eat your jollof rice with eggs, or you had none, you had soft drinks or not, you're alive, you're happy, the Spirit of God is in you, and you're one with the Spirit of God, and that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, it was such a fulfilling and relaxing conversation that we all realized that we're more than what happens to us on a regular basis. We're more than our jobs and our statuses as wives or mothers or anything. Those are characteristics of life, and you cannot allow somebody's expectations of your life determine how you go through life, happy or not. You just live your life and be happy, and ensure that you stay connected to God's Spirit, and your peace and joy will forever be exuded. And people who ordinarily think that maybe they have something more than you, and they do not have peace or joy, and they cast their own false expectations of life on you, and think you shouldn't be happy, you are single, you don't have a child, who are you, or you don't have a job, but you are there smiley, happy, and nothing anyone says can take away your peace and joy. They eventually learn from you that life is more than the things that happen to us. Life is more than meeting goals and objectives and buying new cars or new houses or all of that. The Spirit of God in me is way more than that, and nothing that I have or lack in life is going to affect that spiritual state of mine. Then I'm happy, and it has been a great year.
So there's a powerful principle connected to finding peace and joy first, right? It's said in this verse. I'm going to say it a couple of different ways, but Matthew 6:33, coming from the Bible, says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and the things you're trying to get will be added."
Yep.
Now, if you paraphrase it and say, change up the words a bit, but seek ye first inner peace and joy. Inner peace and joy first. So you're not trying to find it outside, you find it within, and the right use, the correct use of God's laws. I won't go too much into that now. Then the things of this world are added onto you. Now, another way to look at it is that seek first to be a representative of the presence, and the presence you're seeking will be presented to you.
Wow.
Now that statement came from Monica when she was meditating a couple days ago, right? So that statement drops into our awareness. Meditation is very powerful. And the statement said, seek first to be a representative. So you are representing love, representing peace, representing joy, abundance. And if you seek to do that, right, to represent God here in this earth, right, what happens now is the presents that everybody wants at Christmas will be presented to you. Which is the same way of saying, seek first, right, the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and the things are added. So people mix it up, and then what they're trying to do is trying to get goals done, and they don't even realize that a lot of times that's what they're doing, and or trying to make situations okay. You know, okay, I need to have a child, I need to, you know, be married, or my husband is leaving me, my wife. These things now are idolatry, because what it means now is that is the source of your joy. That is the source of your peace. And the presence or absence of it now becomes the reason why you're happy or unhappy, the reason why you're peaceful or at war. And then, you know, you're living life backwards. That's where you're not having the right use, or, you know, his righteousness, right use of the law. Because now you've turned the law against yourself by saying, the reason I'm not happy is because of this. And then that way, you know, the law now is set into motion in reverse.
Wow.
Right? And then you start to experience a feeling of, you know, being down because you've become disappointed. You've missed your appointment with the presence. You're not connected to the presence anymore. That's why you're disappointed, because you're not having that appointment. So seek to be that representation. We are here as representatives of the divine. We are divine at our core. So what we need to do is to represent all of what God is in qualities. Study the qualities of God. You know, not a man in the sky, because God is not a man in the sky. Right?
It's the spirit in you.
And the uppermost and the innermost is the same. You know, and as we start to live from that center, you know, one of the most important decisions we could make is that, you know, we are at the center. One, the universe is friendly, right? And we're at its center, and there's nothing we could do to add to its efficiency. When we start to live from that inner space, then it changes the way we're no longer going into the world to try to get something. But you're in it, but you're not of it anymore.
Okay.
You're of that higher vibration of peace, joy, love, and you're bringing that into the world, as opposed to going to the world to get something, or trying to be satisfied with land and car and relationships and money and these things which will never satisfy you.
Yeah.
But if you see the satisfaction within your own being,
then those things will be presented unto you. Okay, so Doc, you've given us a lot of food to munch on, to chew on, to digest into the new year, and it will help us to, you know, put down the right goals for the coming year, so we're not in denial of who we really are. So it's been fantastic doing this with you. I've learned so much. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I wish you the very best of the new year.
Man, a happy new year when it rolls around. I remember now, you won't have a happy new year unless you have a happy new you.
Wow. So,
all right.
We'll see you at the next episode. Have a great year ahead.
God bless you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. For those of us who enjoyed this video, or even if you didn't fully enjoy it, but leave your comments, right? You know, please share it with friends, family, you know, individuals that you you know, you'd like to actually learn about what we're talking about, and please subscribe to this channel as well. You know, our goal is to really help more of us as human beings on this planet rise and shine and reveal more of our inner peace, joy, and reveal more abundance. All right. So thank you for your comments. I'm looking forward to reading them. I'll seek to respond to them. I'm having a great time. I hope that you are. God bless you all.